This is the audience.
How many students walk into first period feeling exhausted before the school day even begins? I know for me, I struggle to keep my eyes open during early morning classes. And for many students, this isn't just an occasional problem, it's an everyday reality. Between studying, homework, extracurriculars, jobs, and just trying to get enough sleep, students like me are running on empty before the first bell even rings. The problem is simple. Many school days start way too early, causing students to lose valuable sleep. Students spend hours studying for homework, participating in their club or sport, doing jobs, or just enjoying their everyday life. And by the time they finish everything they need to do, it's already late into the night. And by the time they get in bed, they only have a few hours of sleep because they have to get up the next morning for school. And the cycle repeats itself over and over again, draining the student. Now, this isn't healthy for any student because they end up coming to school exhausted. They're not as focused, they don't participate in class, and it's just not healthy for any student. And this can lead to negative consequences like poor academic performance and mental and physical health issues. The Sleep Foundation states that most teens should get between 8 and 10 hours of sleep per night. However, not a lot of students are meeting this requirement because of early school start times, and it has shown negative consequences. For example, some research conducted by Creswell in 2023 found that every additional hour of average nightly sleep was linked to about a 0.07 increase in GPA. So we can see here this graph, which comes directly from Creswell's research. It shows the relationship between total sleep time and spring term GPA, and we can see that the less sleep you get, the lower academic performance success you are going to have. So in other words, sleep isn't just related to feeling awake, it's directly connected to a student's performance. So you may be asking yourself, how is this relevant to me? Well, in the audience, I see we have students, we have parents, we even have a former teacher. This issue affects all of us. Students have to deal with it firsthand, teachers have to deal with unfocused students, which makes their job harder, and parents have to deal with frustrated and tired students. So now that we understand the problem and the issue that is at hand, we can discuss a possible solution. So the solution is pretty simple. Middle and high school should begin no later than 8:30 a.m. By starting at 8:30 a.m., it's going to allow the student to get more sleep, meeting the requirement I stated before that students should get between 8 to 10 hours of sleep, being that they go to bed at midnight. And having more sleep is going to lead to more benefits. For example, improved focus. For reference, the Sleep Foundation states that sleep benefits the brain and promotes attention, memory, and analytical thought. It makes thinking sharper, recognizing the most important information to consolidate learning. Sleep also facilitates expansive thinking that can spur creativity. And also when students focus, they're going to participate more in class, and that's going to help them learn more, and that's going to show in their grades. So you're getting better academic performance. And we can also see better academic performance in the chart before. The more sleep you get, the higher GPA you get, better academic performance. Another benefit is improved mental and physical health. Now, what do I mean by that? So for reference, the Sleep Foundation states that prolonged sleep loss may negatively affect emotional development, increasing risk for interpersonal conflict as well as more serious mental and health issues. So things like anxiety, depression, and factors like that can be avoided with this solution. So having a later school start time and going through with this solution is going to avoid the issues I discussed, and it's just going to benefit and support the overall well-being of the student. So now you may ask, how are we going to get this solution to work? Well, first, school schedules would have to be pushed back. So instead of ending around 3, it would end more around 4. Bus schedules would have to be adjusted, and extracurriculars will have to be adjusted. Now, this is not as easy as it looks on the screen. There are objections and concerns that will come up. However, there are some simple solutions to meet them. One concern is it would mess up bus schedules. Well, a tiered busing schedule would be enforced, and this is basically a flip-flop bus schedule where elementary school students are picked up first, dropped off, then high school and middle school students are picked up, allowing them to get the sleep they needed. Now you may ask, now it's affecting smaller or elementary school students. They're not getting as much sleep. Well, actually, younger children already get enough sleep due to earlier set bedtimes. I know I had a set bedtime when I was a child to allow me to get the sleep I needed. And also, they don't have as much as a harder workload after school as high school students do. They don't really have sports or homework or the type of rigor high school students have. Also, to support this, I conducted an interview with Ms. Sandra Gillis, who was an elementary teacher for over 20 years, and I asked her what were some behavioral differences she saw between younger and older students in the morning. And she explained that younger students tend to be more focused, more hyper and active. So this tiered busing schedule wouldn't affect them as much while allowing teenagers to get the sleep they need. Another issue is that later school start times will interfere with after-school activities. So a solution to this is for the last period of the day, schools could schedule study halls, and that would allow clubs and other activities to meet up, or they could implement a 0-hour physical education period. And what that is it's basically an optional flexible period that's outside of main academic courses, and it can allow student athletes to leave early if they need to go to games or practices. But also, if you're not a student athlete, you're still getting the physical exercise and the physical PE credits that you need. So it's a win-win for both without disrupting main class schedules. And then just an important thing to know is that academic and health benefits outweigh other schedule inconveniences. This solution is primarily for the students to be healthier, to get more sleep they need, and you should not be focusing more on schedule and activity inconveniences. It's more about the student's health. So this isn't just a solution, it's not just a theory that I made up, it's actually been proved in the real world. There are multiple studies conducted by Wheaton, Chapman, and Croft. They examined schools with earlier start times and later start times, and they found in their research that schools with later start times accomplishes the goal of increasing sleep duration. And it shows some of the benefits that we discussed before. And even from this research in 2014, the American Academy of Pediatrics suggested the solution. So this solution has actually shown positive benefits in the real world. It's not just something I made up. So now imagine us going forward with the solution. First, imagine if we don't. Students are not going to get enough sleep, they're going to come to school, they're going to be tired and exhausted, and they're not going to reach their full potential. Now imagine if we do implement this solution. Students are going to get enough sleep, they're going to come to school awake, alert, more focused, and it's going to show in their academic performance and just be better for their own physical and mental health, and they won't be as stressed. So now that you have a little insight on the benefits of the solution, it's now time to take action. So here I have QR slips that you can pass around that links to the organization Start School Later. And this organization basically advocates for healthy school schedules and provides information about the benefits of later start times. So I encourage you to go visit the website, learn more about this issue, and just support efforts to create healthier learning environments for students. So I'd like to end this speech off with a quote. It comes from Dr. Horatio de la Iglesia from the University of Washington. It says, "To ask a teen to be up and alert at 7:30 a.m. is like asking an adult to be active and alert at 5:30 a.m. Adolescents are on one schedule. The question is, what schedule will their schools be on?" Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you.